Hey, I'm John Landis, host of the Apprenticeship Woodworking Series here on YouTube, with another quick tip tool review on what you may or may not need in your shop as you're setting things up in your basement, your garage, whatever it is. Now, we cover tools that I think are necessary. We're on to tools that are really kind of luxuries in your shop, or at least something that you'll add later on as we go along, and the miter saw is one of those things. You wouldn't get this saw if you're just trying to look for a more convenient way to cut rough boards to length. We use this saw as a real precision tool. We've put a nice blade in it, and we don't come up here with rough lumber and just chop things to length. This is for finish work. Now, like with all the other tools, this one has a range of both its capabilities and its price. The most basic thing you can get is a simple chop saw, which just goes up and down and cuts things to length. The step up from that is the miter saw, which, if you loosen this handle, the bed of this moves in both directions, and therefore you can cut angles from 90 degrees, 45 degrees, and anywhere in between. Now, the step up from that is a sliding miter saw. This is on rails here, and this allows the contraption here to slide out and move in, and it also does that in the miter position. Now, what that really does is allows you to cut wider boards than you could if this was simply a miter saw. On top of that, not only do you have the capability of mitering it and pulling it, but you have a compound miter saw, which means this whole thing can tilt in this direction as well. Now, as a furniture builder, I haven't had a lot of times where I've actually used that feature, and when I have, it's actually been to cut a 45 degree down this way when I was trying to do a stopped 45 degree cut. As far as compound angles, really that's kind of reserved for if you're a finished carpenter and you're putting up molding in houses. So this is really sort of the mother of all chop saws or miter saws, in that it's a compound, dual angle compound miter saw with sliding capability. What do you need in your shop? Well, really it comes down to what it is you're doing with it. Minimally, you're going to want a miter saw. On top of that, probably a sliding miter saw. Do you as a woodworker need a compound? Probably not. I don't think so. But the good news about a miter saw, again, is the price range is not crazy. We're not talking about big tools anymore. We're talking about you could really get a nice brand 10-inch dual compound sliding miter saw for somewhere around $500 to $600. Now, you could save half of that if you don't get the compound part of it. Most sliding miter saws, you can get a decent brand for $250, $300. And I frankly think that's all you need. Blade-wise, you can get away with an 8-inch, especially if it's a sliding miter saw. 10-inch just is that much better. So basically, in a nutshell, you want to get a miter saw that slides and miters. Wouldn't worry about the compound part of it. In size-wise, 8 to 10 inches. I don't see a reason to get a 12-inch. And then remember, get a nice blade for it. This is really about making the final cuts to your pieces before assembling or before doing joinery work on it. Again, do you need a chop saw? Certainly not. Many, many ways to cut things to length, many ways to cut angles. But is it convenient? Yes. So you're going to want to spend the money on a nice one if you can. Thanks for watching. Look back for another quick tool tip. Appreciate it.